Hey, what's going on? Joe Coffey here for PremierGuitar.com. We're at Summer NAMM 2009 in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're checking out new products from JamHub. It's a brand new company, and they've got a solution to a problem that many of us have. So we're going to find out all about it from Chuck Nimitz. Chuck, how are you, man?
Very well, Joe.
Good to meet you.
Yeah. You as well.
Well, here it is. This is called the JamHub. In a nutshell, this thing basically allows a bunch of people to plug in, practice, hear each other, control different levels, including your own, but others for monitoring, and angry girlfriends and wives upstairs won't be yelling to turn it down because everybody can hear each other well. Is that correct?
Absolutely right. And the whole idea, the message we're trying to get across is play anywhere, anytime. I, for one, have been hearing all my life, you can't do that, it's too loud, it's too late. There are all these constraints to our ability to just get together and rehearse. And we're trying to appeal to all musicians that rehearsal is vital. We want to get better, we want to make better music, and you got to be able to hear yourself to do that. And I think what really sets this approach apart from using the mixer you already own or something like that to accomplish the same thing, is this allows each musician to put their instrument into their section, their microphone, and then take a headphone out of it. So say I'm in number 6 here and I'm the guitarist and vocalist. I'll set my levels, get myself set left to right in the sound stage, bring myself up, bring the other guys up. We're playing along for about a minute or so, and of course I'm going to say more me. So I reach down and I give myself more me. Nobody else heard me do that. I have my own independent mix that doesn't affect what anybody else hears.
They would only get that if you did it here.
Exactly right, and those are kind of set it and forget it levels type of deal, and once you've done that, everybody has access to it, but only to the degree that they desire. If I'm a little out of tune or I'm being otherwise obnoxious, they can choose to turn me out entirely, which may not lead to the best rehearsal in the world, but they do have that option.
First of all, phantom power on the XLR? No, yes?
There is, we have 3 models, as you can see back here, you can see them all. We have the green room, which is the most affordable model. That's going to street for $299. The bedroom for $299, the green room for $499, and the tour bus for $699. The green room and the tour bus do have 48-volt phantom power, so that increases your choices for microphones, obviously. It also introduces USB out for your recording.
That was my next question. I mean, you're really one step away here from doing some pretty killer live recording.
Absolutely.
What kind of out possibilities are there?
Well, the neat thing is that one of these channels here can be dedicated to a recorder. In fact, channel 1 is usually the geek in the band who's wearing 2 hats. He's the musician and the engineer, where I used to have to wear both of those hats at the same time. I can now wear one at a time. I can switch from listening to my More Me mix, or then quickly switch over and listen to what's going to the recorder by virtue of what are we sending to the recorder on its own mix. And that's a really valuable tool for musicians to be able to listen back, because as we know, the tape does not lie.
Yeah. All right, what about singers who can only sing when they can hear their verb in the monitor?
That's cool. We do have built-in effects, and they are applied to the vocal channels. You got a whole bunch of reverbs over here, a whole bunch of delays, etc. And each musician can decide how much or little of that wet, dry, how much of the reverb do they want to hear, or how little. And that helps a lot, because when you first put on the headphones and it's real dry, it feels a little bit unnatural. So we've tried to help people feel like they're performing in a space that inspires them to play with with the reverb and the delay effects. And the nice thing is that they can adjust it to taste.
All right, what about drums? I mean, if someone's got a Roland TD7 or something, I guess that you plug it right in. But if you've got a real drum set, closed earphones, and you can hear all the other electronics, but you can't hear the open air drums. What do you recommend? How does that?
That's a great question, and like you'd say, an electronic kit simultaneously solves the problem of volume for others outside of the rehearsal, but also makes it easier for there to be less acoustic sound overtaking what's going on. But an acoustic drummer would benefit from this approach as well, and here's how I see it. You'd probably want to mic the kick drum and maybe a pair of overheads through, say, maybe a palm-sized mixer or something. Put that into the drummer's instrument input. And now what they've done by putting on the headphones or the in-ears is they've isolated themselves a little bit from the din of that acoustic kit. And now they're able to hear the musicians more clearly, their fellow musicians more clearly than if they were in a live room setting where they're so loud, they're asking everybody else around them to turn up, and we're all putting earplugs in our ears trying to protect our hearing.
And the musicians have one channel. They can say, oh, drummer's in number 3, turn his ass down.
Or up.
Or up, yeah. And so just he's going to submix for the most part, and he's just like
Right.
everybody else.
Quite frankly, you could do it without any extra gear. You could just put a decent overhead mic over the kit, something that'll pick up a good representation of the kit, put that into your instrument channel, and then if he's got a microphone, put that in as well, you know, to sing, I mean. In fact,
And I suspect a lot of people might just do the old, one ear off thing, and they could hear it in the room 10 feet over anyway, to some degree, right?
I imagine folks will do all kinds of things. We've heard some real neat ideas for applications for this thing that we never thought of, but the general intent was to address that age-old problem of being able to rehearse anywhere you want for as long as you want.
Okay, very cool. I guess a lot of guys, they may not have in their rigs, something with a DI out or whatnot, so maybe a guitarist with his normal stage setup, he might have to invest in a 57 or something to get that signal here.
Absolutely right.
I'm just trying to think of every other, possible thing you might need to get as well as this so you can start using it right away.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys have thought everything through.
We have indeed, and though there's not a lot of tone shaping capability in terms of like EQ or guitar modeling built in or anything like that, there are so many devices, and many of our customers already have these devices. We've given them a capability of plugging those into the system, and it distributes them in a way that people can adjust them independently from each other.
All right. Well, what should people know as far as production models, when they're going to be ready? You talked about the prices. When are they going to be ready?
If we stay on schedule, and we are on schedule at the moment, we're looking to be shipping in mid to late August. So we're coming right up on it. It's really exciting.
And the website?
The website is JamHub.com.
All right. Chuck, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, too.
I'm Joe Coffey. You're watching PremierGuitar.com.